Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to our match for today. It is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg from the replay pack that was recently released by our Red Zerg down at the bottom right hand side here. It is Clarity Gaming's Bob. Now, Bob is an American Zerg player, does a little bit of streaming over there, and has some really high APM. I was really impressed by that. Well, you know, relatively impressed. People sometimes take APM a little bit too hardcore when it comes to measurements of skill and that kind of stuff, but it can certainly denote that you can be quite I suppose skillful in certain parts of a matchup. Of course, you know, Zerg versus Zerg, holy moly, you got to have all sorts of micro to be able to deal with the Ling Bane wars at the start of the games and all those kinds of things. So you have to be careful about that sort of stuff. And you know, obviously some players can head down there with much lower APM and can still be quite successful. So never really take too much from APM, guys. Not a huge amount, but I mean, look at this guy. He's jumping up there around at 260, not bad at all. His opponent over the top left-hand side here as our blue Protoss player, it is AlisonPrime. AlisonPrime also doing quite well in the APM stakes there, but of course we're not really bothering with that kind of stuff. Apparently having a little bit of a sad kind of moment at the current time is our Protoss player. It looks like he will be going for either a Nexus first. In fact, it will be a Nexus first. Sorry, I just noticed the mineral count right now, and we'll see where he wants to go from there. As I said, Bob released a replay pack just before on Team Liquid. Make sure you jump on there and have a quick look for that. It's got some really good high-quality replays in there. If you're particularly the Zerg versus Zerg games are actually really interesting. So jump on there, have a look, see how Bob likes to play. Go and subscribe to his Twitch channel. Say hello on Twitter as well, and we'll hopefully get to see Bob a little bit around more these days. Of course, for myself, by the way, guys, I am actually streaming a lot these days, particularly Dota 2, NS2, and StarCraft 2. Got a little stream schedule available. You can jump on to Google Calendar, and you can have a look at my calendar there, which will hopefully help you out in catching up on when I am streaming stuff. Thought I'd do that, which will hopefully make it a little bit easier for those of you who are not in Australia. If you want to try and match up the times properly, if you use a calendar, it actually does it automatically for you, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, back to our game that we've got here. So it was a Nexus first going up here for AlisonPrime. We've now got the gateway and the forge on the way. Of course, just standard sort of protective buildings here at the front door. This map does give you a nice, easy path for setting up a wall there at the front door, which is really nice because some of the maps, I'm sure people remember way back in the day, in the very early days. Who remembers Zelnaga Caverns? Holy moly, that was annoying to try and wall off. A lot of the maps these days, obviously following that and sort of through the progression of StarCraft, we've eventually moved into maps that are much nicer to set up forge fast expansions and that kind of stuff. Not to mention the simple fact that these days in Heart of the Swarm as a Protoss, you can actually just do gateway expansions, and it can be nice and easy to do it that way. AlisonPrime seriously is having a... Oh, that life. Okay. I thought we were having a discussion, like a depression kind of discussion going. I didn't even think of life. Oh, okay, we are. I'm so confused as to what is going on here in this game. But Bob trying to change it around to a little bit more of a StarCraft discussion, but he is going to roam around with a few of these lings. Of course, Star Station, a very big map. There's so much space here. Got lots of cliffs that can be utilized as well by various races. Of course, Blinkstalkers could be a possible unit to use on this map, but I mean, we rarely ever see that these days in most sorts of Protoss versus Zerg games. You do see it like as a kind of two-base build on certain maps where it's very easy to sort of I suppose segment the third base off, but yeah, I mean, it's not a build that we do commonly see as we used to back in the day. But well, Bob's just going up to his third base. We still don't have any gas. He's just picking it up now at his natural base, so he will have a little bit of gas flowing in very soon, but his third base is up and running. We got drones coming out. We've also got the extra queens, and obviously with those extractors completing, we'll probably get some link speed started very soon. Look towards the lair tech, and the Roach Hydra is the standard sort of composition that you do see in this particular matchup, so we'll keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, we do of course have to have a quick little look at what AlisonPrime is up to, we do have a Phoenix on the way. So we've got a standard little Stargate opening here from our Protoss. There'll be a Robo following that up as well, just to get out some Immortals, or possibly just a simple, you know, expansion kind of force consisting of some Immortals. Maybe a couple of Observers will come out so we can keep an eye on things as well. But now pushing forwards, it looks as if we will have a little bit similar to something that Stardust has been doing quite a lot, the very annoying kind of 4-gate with a possible harassment Phoenix coming out. I'm not actually... He actually cancelled the Phoenix that was building, I believe, or in fact... Oh, sorry, it's actually over here. But looks like you will now push across. The warp gate tech just about done. The 3 extra gateways back at home for AlisonPrime now just about complete. There is an observer on the way as well, and a warp prism, so we're really going to try and get some harassment going on this third base. This is all signified in particular by our +1 to weapons, which is now just about done. So this is going to be well, we'll see how Bob wants to handle this. He should be able to take care, and does take care of that pylon extremely easily. These lings that are out should be quite enough to deal with any possible threats for the moment, so he is going to add on another 11 lings, which 11 drones, which are just popping out now as well, which will give him a nice economic boost. So we're still waiting to see what our Protoss is up to. It does have a warp prism that's, well, was sort of journeying around, but it's not anymore, just sort of hanging off to the side for the time being. The Phoenix will also come across, perhaps trying to clear a road so that the warp prism can get through, and we will actually have a third Nexus coming about for the Protoss as well. So things are looking quite standard here for both of our players. The lair is now on the way and is just about to finish up. +1 to missile weapons is also coming through. So everything is quite standard at the moment for Bob. He's not really changing anything up. AlisonPrime is also doing a very sort of familiar kind of play here with this warp prism. Now, where is it? It's actually still over there. He is looking to try and get in there with the warp prism, but it feels as if it's sort of slowly lagging behind, and that is going to give time for Bob to get these roaches out. Sorry guys, I'm like really tired. I stayed up last night. I don't know why. But yeah, anyway. We're going to have the extra gateways now going down. An interesting little wall off there for that cannon, but a zealot off to the side is going to get taken out. A few of those links now popping across. The warp prism now jumping into the natural base, letting a few zealots loose. Will they be able to get any damage done? Looks like a couple of roaches will hatch out here from Bob, and he should be able to take care of the zealots here, but after that there isn't a huge amount of follow-up coming along from our Protoss player. The Phoenix, of course, are about. They will look to lift up the Queen. There they go. If he can take out the Queen, that War Prism is going to stay alive for a little bit longer. But Safety Queen's now coming about. In fact, wow, we've got a 5 Phoenix total now. Just pushing across here from AlisonPrime, and in fact is going to take care of quite a lot of these Queens. We're now down, we'll be down to just a total of 1 Queen out here for our Zerg player. So Bob really struggling at the moment to deal with this annoying little harassment that's been coming about, but he does have Burrow, Roach Speed all on the way, and with those completing, he'll be allowed to get a little bit back out on the map and be able to harass his opponent a bit. But 11 more Roaches, and wow, Tunneling Claws is on the way for Bob, so he is going to go for what looks to be a very heavily burrowed Roach-based composition, with 11 of those Roaches on the way, +2 to weapons coming through as well, and that Tunneling Claws upgrade, which we still rarely ever see, despite the change to this particular upgrade, boosting up the speed so that burrowed roaches are still quite fast. It hasn't had a huge effect on the metagame from any matchup, as far as I understand. Of course, won't really make too much difference in Zerg versus Zerg, but in Protoss, in Zerg versus Protoss, you can see it used sometimes. Just try and surround units and try and get in here. What can happen quite a lot is that Zerg players like to, Protoss players sort of set up these defensive sort of areas here, where you can see the Colossi. You get all your standard sorts of units, the Colossus, the Stalkers, all these things, and then the Roaches just get blocked out by force fields, and it gets really hard to deal with that. So what you can do is you can just burrow underneath and then quickly charge under them, target down the bigger units if you want, and then really mess up your opponent's day. So Bop is going to go quite hard out on this right now. We do have his third base, of course. He's mining quite nicely at 71 drones, and now he's pushing out. Force fields will go down. Some of the Roaches at the back are getting caught, but they will burrow forward. So there they go. Alright, they do push forward. There is an observer here to be able to spot out these burrowed Roaches, but I mean, they are still getting in there and getting a little bit of damage done. Targeting down the Colossus, one of them has lost all of its shields, and now we can see the Roaches pushing forwards, getting a lot of damage done. Taking out most of these Stalkers on the ground, the Phoenix will come along and try and lift up some of these Roaches to keep them away from the battle at the moment, but I mean, this has done a sizable amount of damage here from Bob. He's now got another 14 Roaches on the way. The Roach train continues, and Immortal has come out to try and help, but I really don't know how much help that is going to be. Bob targets down the Immortal right now, and he does get rid of it. Now this third base is going to be very exposed soon. And I believe we did lose the Observer. Yeah, we did. So there is no Observer out. Bob's going to be able to retreat for now. He's got some more backup Roaches about to hit. 9 more are still on the way, and his +2 is about to be added in. So Bob is really going to be threatening to take out this game very quickly here. What you need to do as a Protoss here, I would love to see people actually abusing like pylons a little bit more, just to try and set up some various walls so you can try and clog up the Roaches as they push forwards. But I mean, Bob has now got a large contingent of Roaches out. He's at 182 supply. Just says, I am coming through, sir. Targets down pylon. Should probably target down the Cyber as well. No. Gets a little bit blocked out, but then the Roaches say, nope, not really phased about that. Roaches climbing to the top of the cliff, and they will be able to get a lot of damage done from there. But Bob has now got reinforcements still streaming across the map. 10 Roaches are on the way. Still no Observer. In fact, there it is. He does actually get an Observer out to be able to spot those Roaches. But I mean, these guys are going to do a lot of damage right now. We can see they're slowly taking out units as they move through, and more are showing up at the front door. So AlisonPrime in a little bit of trouble right now. As I said, would have been nice for Wolf to be able to take out that cybernetic store, but now the Roaches will push forwards. It looks as if they are going to... Well, I thought they were going to try and target down sentries, but unfortunately didn't see them pick up the sentries there at all. More Roaches now moving forwards from Bob, and this is just pretty cool stuff here. The +2 really helping out with the damage that he's doing. More Roaches sweeping across, looking to take out the third base, while the extra Roaches up at the top are dealing with the forces of AlisonPrime. But I think this is really something to see. It's rare to see people trying to take advantage of this borrow strategy, but he's doing a really nice job. The blink is now done. We will probably see AlisonPrime stabilize for now. He'll probably get some more Stalkers out. I would like to see him perhaps bring out a couple of Observers. I'm not sure about those Immortals. Like, I mean, Immortals are wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, when it comes to actually getting a lot of that damage out, as you can see, he's going to be moving forwards, and the Blink Stalkers can try and keep abreast of these Roaches, but is it going to be enough? He's now going to take out some of the Roaches, but more Roaches coming in from the backside. We can see that 29 more Roaches are on the way. This is very reminding me of a certain Frenchman who used to do a Ling Roach style fight like this. As we can see, attempting to set up a 4th base, the Phoenix will overlook that and keep an eye on things, but I mean, Bob is still just charging forwards with his Roaches. His +2 is active. Meanwhile, for his opponent, +1 armor and +2 weapons is active. Is he going to be able to deal with this constant assault of the Roaches? As we can see, the Stalker force really starting to slip down right now. He's down to just the 7 Blink Stalkers. The Phoenix are off on the map doing absolutely nothing right now. And the Roaches now totaling 37 and pushing forwards. They are going to be able to sweep through and crush most of these Stalkers that are inside this third base here. And you would think that that could be the game right there. As there it is, yeah, AlisonPrime tapping out in this particular game on a Star Station. Really cool strategy. I do like to see the Jaws strat coming out every now and then. As we can see, Bob is able to bring it out and show us how it's done. Hope you all enjoyed the game. I'll see you all next time. Here, as you can see, 47 damage to bio units, and then the 34 damage against other standard targets. His storms have also been wonderful, just spreading them out across the battlefield, doing really nicely there. And for minigun, he's been sticking with a much more